All right, folks. Long time no see. So, yeah, things happen, man. Life gets in the way. Stuff comes up. You get a little busy and run out of ideas to do episodes for. So, I've always said whenever an idea pops into my mind for an episode, I'll do one. But I fear that the days of a weekly episode out of Mike is probably over. So I don't have that much in here to talk about apparently. But anyway, I did have an idea. Actually, it's an idea that I've had the entire time, but it just slipped my mind until about an hour ago, give or take. So what we're going to talk about today, let me move my camera here, is this big old guy right here and how I came to be in possession of it. So yeah, it wasn't the normal way. So anyway, if you care to listen to my story and look at what's inside here, stick around and I'll be back here in a minute. All right, folks, welcome back. As I said, we're going to talk about the Gene Simmons Vault here and how I came to possess such a thing. And well, let's talk about some announcements that have been made since we saw each other last. So we all we remember the $50,000 gold 45 single for Strutter, right? Right? Yeah. That was a hit. I'm sure that sold out like that. Yeah, and then we had a announcement for a off the soundboard release, which I am actually, I love this one. It's from the Asylum tour with Bruce Kulick. Great looking records. They have now ruined the off the soundboard series for me with the forced bundle and the insert poster. I mean, I'm trying not to be a Debbie Downer about this because I have listened to the show. I've listened to it on Spotify. Fantastic show. Some of the tempos are a little too fast for me, but, Bruce and Eric getting some love finally. This is great. Not every record has to be a $100 record. Let's just put it out there like that. I mean, they are Universal and all the powers that be. You cannot get a reissue nowadays for less than $75, $80. It's just not going to happen. Whether it's a single record, a triple record, they're going to add a t-shirt to it. They're going to add a poster that never came with it to it. They're going to jack up the price to where it's $100 record. And not all records are $100 records. I mean, it's just simple as that. But, whoever controls this stuff has seemed to lost that mentality. And going forward, I'm out. I would rather my money go towards an active band, that's out there doing what they do than lining the pockets of whoever that's retired. I'm sorry, that's just how I feel about it. Some people probably don't share my sentiment, and to each his own. I mean, if you want to go out and buy all this stuff still, please enjoy the absolute shit out of it. Lord knows, I have. I was an avid buyer of these reissues for a long time, and I'm done with it. So does that mean I'm done collecting Kiss? Not necessarily. I mean, you know, there's still some vintage records out there that I'm looking for, and if I came across, I would still get them. But moving forward, new reissues for anniversaries and stuff, I'm done, man. You know, the $1,000 box sets, the $50,000 gold single. Man, sorry, but I feel a little attacked on that. So anyway, enough with the downer there. The next announcement was the little, for lack of a better word, Kiss Fest that's coming up in Las Vegas. Hey, I mean, it's a 3-day event, several tiers of packages that can be bought and paid for, ranging from, you know, $1,000 to $5,000. The 2 top tiers sold completely out, which surprised the shit out of me. But anyway, you know, you guys can go look that stuff up, see what all's included. It's not for me. Like I said, you know, I hate to sound like a Debbie Downer about this, but I'm kind of over it. So, in a nutshell, that's all the announcements I can think of since we saw each other last. And then I'll talk about a couple of recent acquisitions here. So, a few weeks ago, from the time I'm filming this, there was a record show up north of me in a little town called Carthage, Missouri, which is just a couple clicks north of Joplin. And I used to have a table there twice a year, and after I had my back injury, I just got tired of schlepping those things around, so I sold my record show stock off to a buddy of mine, and now I just go as a civilian. And the last few record shows up there, a buddy of mine who happens to be known a little bit outside of, you know, the Kiss world, is John Humphrey from Seether, the drummer. He's had a table there for the last few times, and I go up there and I hang out with John quite a bit, and then go out and buy some records at the record show. So this last one was just a couple of weeks ago, and we'll go through a couple of acquisitions that I picked up there. So I was on a little bit of a rainbow kick for this one. So I've got a UK copy back there of the first Rainbow album, and I found this one for pretty cheap. Yeah, you can see a little bit of writing on the cover there, but if you get in a little closer, you can see it says 97 FM. And when you pull the record out, it is a white label promo. So, yeah, I found this for like $7 or something like that. So, yeah, I was pretty pleased to find that. This is my absolute favorite Rainbow album, bar none. Awesome gatefold there. Back cover. Stargazer. Favorite Rainbow song ever. So, I have been a guitar player for 35 years now. Blackmore is one of my favorites, so I was real happy for that. Alright, sorry about the little blip there, but my air conditioner kicked on and it makes my camera all wobbly. So, we just looked at the white label promo there for Rainbow Rising. And now, next up, I picked up a copy of Rainbow on Stage. And this one is a US copy. Look at that gatefold there. Love it. And a bunch of equipment stats and road crew and whatnot. I mainly bought this for the inner sleeves because I have a copy that doesn't have inner sleeves, a US copy. And I mean, this was dirt cheap, and actually I think the records in this copy is also going to replace my original copy. The jacket, not so much. It's got some issues to it that my other copy doesn't have. So yeah, I love this album. Only bummer, Stargazer's not on it. Why? I have no idea. Probably because they spent, 30 minutes playing Catch the Rainbow and Mistreated. So, both good songs, but. And then I bought another copy of Rainbow on Stage. This one came from the collection of John Humphrey. This is a UK copy. Got that same gatefold. The jacket's pretty crisp. Doesn't have the original inner sleeves, but these records are flawless. I mean, any of you that know John know that he's real picky about condition. So if you buy something from him, chances are it's pretty damn close to perfect. So yeah, thank you, John, for this one. And one more Rainbow release. So this would be Long Live Rock and Roll. This is the final album that they did with Ronnie James Dio. Got the hype sticker there on the cover. On the back, there's a little gold stamp there. And I haven't transferred it to a disc keeper yet, but got another white label promo there. Original inner sleeve. So yeah, I was finding Rainbow that day. And glad to have found all these, because I am a big fan of Rainbow. So I have read that this live shot was taken at a Rush concert or something like that, and that was actually superimposed. So that was my record show finds of that day. Well, I did get a couple of CDs from a flea market that same day, but I didn't get them out. And then a more recent acquisition is I actually got this from eBay last week, and it's something that I was waiting patiently on, and this is the Purgatory EP by Seether. And it's basically a 12-inch single for Wasteland off of their Parabellum album. So you got Wasteland and then a couple of non-album tracks, What Would You Do, Will It Ever End, and Feast or Famine. And then you got a acoustic version of Wasteland. And there was 3 different variations. One of them you can find in retail outlets. It's just a red marble vinyl. One of them you can find maybe on the store site still. It's a like a clear smoky gray color, marbled. And then this one is a combination of the two. It's a clear and translucent red split. For those of you who like Pokemon, kind of looks like a Pokeball. But yeah, I've been patiently waiting for this one because unfortunately I slept on Seether vinyl for a long time. So some of these, were limited down to like 350 copies or something like that. And once they sold out, they kind of get listed on eBay a little high. So I was kind of waiting it out, and this one came up as an auction, and nobody bid on it, and I went in and snagged it at the very end for a really, really cheap price, and I'm really, really happy to get a hold of that. So there we go, the Purgatory EP from Seether. And with the acquisitions out of the way, how about we check in here on the vault? So I remember when the vault was announced. It was in 2018. There were different packages. You know, I think one of them was $2,000. You bought the vault, and then Gene came to the city, a nearby city, and would bring all of these vaults, and people would come and he would present you with the vault. There was that package, and then there might have been another package or two, and then there was I think a $50,000 package, correct me if I'm wrong, and that's basically he would come to your house and deliver this thing. So I knew right away, seeing that both of those were out of my price range. I was not going to do either one of them. Not that I didn't think the experience of, because I mean it wasn't just handing you the vault and then you go on your way. I mean, there was activities and guests, and he would play and stuff like that. So I mean, it was worth it, and I just wasn't going to do it. So, you know, I was resigned that I would probably never own this, because I do not download stuff illegally. That's just something I don't do. If I like something, I will support the band, and I just figured I'm not paying $2,000 for this, so I'll probably never have it, and I'll probably never hear it. I really wanted to hear it for the same 3 songs that just about everybody else from my generation wanted to hear. You know, the 3 songs with Edward and Alex Van Halen. But you know, I was good with not having it. So flash forward a little bit, there was an expo that was announced in Indianapolis in 2018, and the planets lined up, and I was able to make it to the expo. You know, I was able to buy the tickets. I was able to get the time off. I was able to drive from Southwest Missouri to Indianapolis and stay for, gosh, I think it was like 5 days that I was up there. I was able to put it together. And on top of that, I was able to actually, like, you know, have money to spend at the expo. So I can't tell you how many records I bought there now. And it's been so long ago. But there were 2 folks raffling off a vault. 2 separate raffles, I should say. And, you know, just as kind of a, wouldn't it be funny if I threw a 20 into each raffle. I don't win this stuff, you know. I don't think I've ever won more than $80 on a lottery ticket, you know. So I didn't expect to win it, but I mean, $20, I threw it in there. The first raffle, I didn't win. So they lined us up for the second raffle. I was sitting in the room there in the front next to a couple of friends, and they hollered somebody's name, and they never came forward, and they spent quite a deal of time trying to get a hold of this person. Because on the ticket, they even had you write your phone number on there. So they was trying to call this person. They was calling their name out. Crickets. And then they was like, finally, you know, they was like, well, we're just going to have to redraw. So they redrew. They flipped the ticket over. They said, anybody with a phone number that ends in... That was my phone number. So I won a vault for 20 bucks. Went up on stage. I was nervous as shit, you know. And at the same time, I probably could have just carried this thing on the tip of my finger. I was so amped up about it. So very happy to have it. I got home. The first place I went was the Van Halen songs, because anybody who knows me knows I just absolutely love Van Halen. So great weekend overall. This was icing on the cake. Got to meet several people for the first time that I have eventually become really, really good friends with. And let's open this thing up. So, first things first, my handle had a little bit of an issue. It was just dangling. I thought super glue might have been the answer. I mean, it held. That thing's not going anywhere, but yeah. It does have a dial on it, and it's just for looks. It's same with the handle. The handle doesn't control any kind of locking mechanism. It just pops open by a magnet. And then there is a light strip underneath. So you got your little on-off guys here. And first things first, it's got this little a gift from compartment. You push that in and it opens up. Now the other auction, I believe the gifts were taken out. So like for the vault experience, Gene would just grab random shit and just throw it in each vault. So you never knew what you was going to get. So for my stuff, actually, I've got a paper on my vault. So this is proceeds that benefit Kiss's stage manager, Steve Roman's nephew, Dustin Mansell, at the time. He was involved in a major car accident. I do not know the specifics before or since any of this, but you know, the proceeds to this went to helping somebody out, more than likely with hospital bills and whatnot. So yeah, the tickets were $5 each. You can get 3 for $10. I threw a 20 in there, so that's I decided to keep that with it. And then for the gifts, I had a phone case, which I never opened up. It's obviously a lot smaller than my phone, so there's no need for me to open it up. I got some deodorant that I've never opened. I'm not sure I want to now, because God, it's been, what, 7 years? And then a couple of backstage passes. Meet and greet passes. And they are the exact same thing. So, yeah, those were my extra gifts that came in with this set. I was not expecting to have anything in there, and a buddy of mine at the expo told me, hey, you probably ought to open that up and look. And then, you know, another trick that they told me was to reach back and up, because there's a hidden compartment back there, so just to make sure there wasn't nothing else. Alright, so we got the gift compartment. We'll talk about this here in a minute. Alright, first things first. There's a big coin. I left this in the package. Yeah, I guess it has been pulled out of the package at some point. So just a giant coin there to commemorate this whole thing. And what is a Gene Simmons product without a Gene Simmons figure? So yeah, I left that in the wrap, because what am I going to do with it? All right. We'll let Gene and the coin watch the proceeds here. So, the important part of the vault. This is a booklet that contains the 11 CDs. This was made available on its own later for $80 or something like that. So hopefully several folks were able to acquire this that wasn't able to do that. So this book is thick, and there are notes and pictures and stories, and then every now and then there's a break where it'll say what's on a disc, and then you flip the page over and there's the disc. So you have all kinds of unreleased, unfinished, whatever, and it's not like it's completely random. It seems like it's not like from the earliest to the latest. It's all over the place, you know. Disc 1 has songs like In My Head, which is from Psycho Circus, around, you know, Carnival of Souls. So, and then he's got little notes about each song. You know, disc 2 has Weapons, Hate, Carnival of Souls, Within, In Your Face, Rain, all of this stuff from, you know, Carnival and Psycho Circus era. And more essays. Disc 3 is the disc that I went to straight off because of Christine 16, Tunnel of Love, and Got Love for Sale, because Edward and Alex Van Halen were on it. I had wanted to hear that forever, and so I was happy to finally hear it, because I don't get into bootleg audio. I think that stuff was circulating for a while. That's not my thing. I'm not going to go out and seek that kind of stuff out. So having it right there, that was what I was wanting more than anything. And then, yeah, we're getting into the earlier makeup period. But yeah, it's just a massive, massive set. And very, very worth the money to me. So this is inlaid in gold. The signature and the vault, that's inlaid in gold against, it's like a canvas cover on the book. And I mean, just so many pictures and essays. It's just, it takes forever to get through properly. And then I didn't grab it, but our friend Julian Gill from the Kiss FAQ made a supplement book to go along with this, that if one were inclined, I would recommend going to find, because it was even deeper into some of this stuff as only Julian can dig, because The guy is just he's a fucking encyclopedia is what he is. I mean, just nobody digs deeper than him. So yeah, if you can find Julian's Vault supplement book, definitely get it. So we've got the Gene Simmons figure, the coin, the book with all the music, the 3 fucking songs with Edward and Alex Van Halen finally. All wrapped up in a very heavy, this is like 38 or 39 pounds, made to look like a distressed metal vault. This is not metal. I mean, it looks pretty good from a distance. It is wood. You know, the rivets are metal. The little corners here are metal. The handles on the side are metal. The handle is metal-ish. The dial is probably plastic. Caster wheels at the bottom here, which are just out of frame. They are easily removable if one wanted to take them off. I had mine off for a little bit and then decided to put them back on. The ones that Gene would give the experience to, Gene would sign the top of the vault. I'm not going to try to tilt it forward or nothing. The top of mine is not signed. And then I've got it sitting on a stool right here, so if you turn it around, it's just blank on the back. And then there's your distressed handles there on the side. Let's see if I can't get this turned back around without it falling forward and crushing my feet. Alright, so there it is. The Gene Simmons Vault. A little over the top, yes. If I didn't win this in Indy when the booklets came up for sale for 70 or 80 bucks or whatever, I probably would have bought one because of the 3 Van Halen songs. So, but yeah, this thing is, I mean, I don't listen to this stuff every day, but it is definitely a centerpiece in my collection, I should say. I mean, it's something. The story behind it to me is more impressive than the actual item. The story of how I came into possession of it. So, you know, that's an experience in its own that, you know, no matter what, that will never leave me. Even if this gets lost or stolen, the experience is still with me. And you know, not to get all sappy and everything, but that's kind of what I am more into now. You know, physical media, yes, I still love records. I don't think that's ever going to stop. And you know, vintage stuff, sure, if I'm looking for it. Experiences with friends, though. You know, I was talking about hanging out at the record show with John, you know, looking over records, and, you know, he had found a couple of things that he was excited about. I had found a couple of things that I was excited about. Our buddy Jake, who was there with John, Jake had found a couple of things that he was excited about. You know, just kind of fanboying over some of that stuff, you know. That to me is worth more than, you know, finding one of these, you know. That's just kind of where I'm at mentally now. Does that mean I'm stopping collecting? No, not necessarily, but I'm done with the reissues and stuff going forward with Kiss, you know. I'm not going to buy everything in their catalog on gold vinyl, you know, because it's a 50th anniversary or whatever. I'm not going to hang in there that long. it's run its course with me. So, you know, that is what it is. So, anyway, Gene Simmons Vault, fellas. And then, yes, my record show haul, Rainbow. I don't have much to say besides that, so I thank you for hanging in there with me, and hopefully next time won't be as long, but I will catch you next time.